Dad Mod's Media Machine presents the Brews with the Dudes podcast.
Unsure what your favorite color was.
Is it like is it a serious question because it's like it's hard to pinpoint your favorite color, or is it a serious question because like you have a relationship to a certain color?
A little column A, a little column B.
Okay.
So why blue?
Why not blue?
I don't know. I go with black because it matches my soul, but
Oh,
Jesus.
why blue?
I like blue.
All right, no, that's a legit reason.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Brews with the Dudes podcast. I am Jake Lindquist.
I'm Donnie Allen.
And with us is the man, the myth, the legend, DJ Spruce,
Yes,
aka Steve Collins.
this guy throws down in the underground of the 224.
He sure does.
Once upon a time.
Well, thanks for coming out, man. It's we've had you on a few video chats now. This is the first in-person sesh.
It's a little weird being in person.
Yeah. It takes getting a little used to. Like, one of the best parts about podcasting is the headphones. They just dial you in. You're like in a conversation dimension.
Yeah, it blocks out everything around you.
It does. It's fucking weird.
I feel in the zone.
You'll get in the zone, especially once you get some beer coursing through your veins. You brought with some reinforcements, so your choice.
Do you need a ride home after this?
Do you want a canoe or do you want what you got down there?
I'll take what I got. Represent the superior side of the bridge.
Okay, sounds good.
The Minnesota beer's not quite good enough for you?
Well, gotta rep a little bit.
Jesus Christ, Donnie.
I didn't plan my reach distance very well.
no!
You can take the headphones off.
I could.
What'd you bring? Is that a...
Earth Rider.
Oh,
Some
okay.
laundry.
You know what's funny?
Oh,
I
those
was
are
looking at the Earth Rider Pale Ales.
They're so good.
And I
Earth Rider's fantastic.
Couldn't remember if we all liked it or not, but I know that we all liked canoe, so that's why I chosen this one. But
I just like
you've
beer.
got which one?
The Precious Material Lager.
Lager.
I've not had that
He
one.
drinks the lager drink. He drinks the cider drink.
You can have one if you want.
I will have one after this.
Yeah, he'll take you up on that
Oh,
because
yeah.
that boy he loves it if it's a little darker.
Yeah, just a little snack, you know? Something to nibble on while you're drinking.
I want my beer to satiate my hunger.
Exactly.
I brought their stout too, if you want. You really want
You brought a stout? Nice. This is an opportunity.
I'll take
dude.
it. I'll take it. Yeah. After I finish this, I'll definitely take you
Yeah.
up on that.
Why not one of each hand?
I'm not in college anymore. Yeah, their Earth Rider stout is really, really good.
It is very delicious.
It's a very good stout. You wouldn't know. We're talking about adult drinks.
Oh, dude, I started drinking with Sam
so good.
Adams. Like, that was like the first dark beer I ever had was a Sam Adams. Fucking, I don't remember exactly which kind. And it went from there straight to Guinness Draught. And that was what I drank for years.
I think my first stout was probably a Big Boat from Figures.
Oh, that's a good way to start off.
Yeah, because I'm like, oatmeal stout. I'm like, what the hell? What's oatmeal doing in a beer? And then I had that. I'm like, that's tasty.
Right.
That's
right.
what it's doing.
Yeah,
It's
man.
so
Well, what about
good.
you? What was your first dark beer?
Brentwood Black. Well, it wasn't my first one. It was the
Never
first
had
one
that.
I've got.
Yeah.
How do I say? That I actually like. I want to keep it going back to this.
Right. I know. Like we were a source of revenue for the Thirsty Pagan for sure.
I'm trying. I still to this day am not really sure how I afforded to do what we did.
We didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, we pissed away money, but we're a couple of bachelors.
Well, yeah, that's what you do.
I mean,
Just throw money at everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't do that now, time-wise. So I'm glad I did it when I did.
Right. Well, it's funny. I'm glad you bring up time-wise because that was actually something I thought would be relevant for the three of us to talk about today. Being, I'm a father of two. You're a father of three. You're a father of three. So when you're figuring out events or you're just scheduling things with people that don't have kids, do you guys find that there is just a fundamental misunderstanding of how finite our time is?
Yes.
Absolutely.
I had to think to myself, do I actually plan things with people without kids?
Right.
When I do, it's like, yeah.
It's so
I
bad.
can't do that.
It's
so bad.
crazy, like how. And when somebody's like, "Oh yeah, like just come on, just swing on over. I'll make time for you," and you go like, "No, I don't think you understand. Like, I just literally don't. Like, all of my time is regimented out for weeks, and if I am gonna go do anything small, like I gotta plan for it, or I gotta take time off from work."
My favorite thing is my stepdad likes to do breakfast on the weekends. And I'm like, oh, you should join me. I'm like, okay, what time? I don't know. I'll pick you up at like 7:45. I'm like, that ain't gonna fucking happen.
Yeah, that's when the kids gotta be getting
But then,
fed.
no,
and-
I'm like, I got 3 kids I gotta take care of, get them eating. It's like, there's no way. If we're all going, we still can't get out the door in time.
yeah,
You just can't get 3 kids ready by 8 o'clock. It doesn't happen.
No.
My wife does it though, because Harper's in school now. And she's out the door by like 7:15, 7:30. I have no clue how she does it.
Yeah,
I'd just be yelling in the morning when nothing's happening.
Wives are just amazing.
yeah.
Next level.
I know it
Oh,
is.
yeah.
It is wild. Like what the wives can just kind of process. Like my wife will be mapping out the week, and she'll be thinking about the meal planning and all of that stuff, and she'll have all these different things kind of twirling around in her head. Whereas I am so one track, where it's just like, okay, keep Atticus alive. Great, I can do that. I can take him out. I'm like, oh yeah, shit, I gotta feed him. I'm like, you cool with nuggets, dude? And he's like, yep. You know,
Sweet.
We're having nuggets.
It's funny how dudes eat like bachelors with their kids.
It's
all over
terrible,
again.
dude.
They're like, oh, I can microwave 20 nuggets and feed both my kids and myself. Like, cool.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
It's horrible is what it
Oh,
is.
it absolutely is.
Because
but-
like me pre-kids, I was all like, oh, well, I'm gonna go have this tuna wrap, or I'm gonna like go and get this salad from wherever,
I
or
was
black
still
bean
eating
burgers.
nuggets.
You're the same person no matter what. And kids arrived, and then it's, you know, you're
Like, oh,
adapting
cool.
to them.
More nuggets.
Mom's at work tonight? Yeah, we're having frozen pizza.
Yeah, right. I know. I keep finding myself like, God damn it, I need to stockpile the freezer because we have no frozen pizza in the house. It's fucking ridiculous.
I think one of my favorite perks, though, to having kids is stealing their snacks. The wife will go grocery shopping, and then like the next day, I'll come home from work like, I just want a little snack. And open up the cupboard. I'm like, oh, those Scooby Doo gummies? Like, I'm totally having 2 bags of those.
Oh yeah, I'm totally guilty. Oh, fruit snacks?
Yeah.
Dude.
Handful in the
Yep.
Sam's Club box.
Oh, peanut butter crackers? Don't mind if I do.
How many sleeves of graham crackers have you guys consumed since your first kid?
Actually, no, we don't have a whole lot of graham crackers in our house.
No, you don't?
No.
Same. We have graham crackers, but we rarely eat them.
No shit. Okay.
No, we're not
I
big
eat a
graham
lot. I eat probably enough for the 3 of us. Because they'll pop out. Atticus will want a graham cracker, and I'm like, oh sure, okay, here's a square or whatever, and then I'll have a square, and then he'll have another one, and I'll go, I'm gonna have 4 more. You know, while you're watching TV.
I'm like that with string cheese.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
string
dude,
cheese is
yeah.
awful.
As long
it's
as
tasty,
I've
but
known
it's-
you are the cheese connoisseur.
I eat a lot of cheese.
You, bro. You had, and I don't remember what we used to live together. You had that block of cheese slices in the fridge.
Wait, so did you take over an entire drawer in the fridge for your cheese?
Well, it's not just my cheese now, but there is a dedicated cheese drawer in our fridge.
That's
Yeah.
pretty sweet.
I mean, we have the same thing too.
Yeah, we have like shredded cheese
I mean, if
and
you
some sliced
don't-
cheese.
I'm suspect to you.
No, we're like we have
Right.
cheese in a drawer, but it's not just cheese. Like there's still space for other things.
Is it the silverware drawer?
No, there's like pepperonis in there.
Just scrape the color off.
I mean, maybe a little lunch meat or pepperoni. Like,
For sure.
Yeah.
give you a pass
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah, that's usually what's in the same drawer.
So I'm curious, like, did you guys ever see anybody else do that with like lunch meat and cheese in the same drawer?
I don't. Maybe my parents.
You just started doing
think
it, right?
Happened, yeah.
Yeah.
I think you hit like
Same with us.
25, and you're like, oh yeah, that just goes together.
These go together. I don't know why that is. There's never been a rule or anything like that. You know, there's the crispers drawers and whatever, but cheese and meat just ended up together in this drawer magically.
I'm gonna blame drunk munchies. Have you ever been drunk and you open up that drawer and like, oh, I got shredded mozzarella and I got pepperonis. Like, I could totally snack on this, and you're just piling mozzarella on your pepperonis, and
Or just
eating
melt
them
it
like
together.
that. No.
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
On a
So you
tortilla.
make a
No, you take your pepperoni, you put some mozzarella
so
on
you
it,
make
roll
a
it up,
sandwich with like pepperonis as the bread and eat it with cheese.
Yeah, why not? It's the same thing as pizza. It's just taking out the crust.
Am I the minority here? Steve looks like he's kind of like, oh yeah, you've never done that.
I guess I haven't done that specific thing, but I totally would.
Yeah.
I might.
Try it. Yeah,
Later.
get drunk one night and then just like raid your meat cheese for it.
What I would probably just take that and melt it on tortilla.
See, a lot of people do that. I've heard a lot
yeah.
of people be like, "I made a PB&J using a tortilla," and I've never done that.
I've never done PB&J.
So I've got my stoner go-tos, and one of them, and this is this is from my high school days because basically there's 3 boys that were my age, and then there was like the other 2 I think were younger, 1 year younger than me or something like that. Used to hang out at my buddy Phil's house basically every single day. His parents, total hippie stoners, so there was a lot of weed around, and it was great. And so we would hang out, we'd smoke a lot of ganja, and they knew better than to keep the good food out. So I always suspected they had a refrigerator in their bedroom because they had like a lock on the door and all that kind of stuff because
Jesus.
we're a bunch of ravenous 16-year-olds,
Yeah.
you know? So basically what they would have is they would stockpile in the cheapest white bread imaginable. And then they would buy these like 5-pound bags of shredded cheese. And then the
Yes.
biggest tub of mayo you'd ever see. And that was what I lived off of for a summer. I would take bread, I'd slather mayo on it, I'd drop a bunch of shredded cheese, another piece of bread, and I would chow that shit down.
Oh man,
And I didn't get fat somehow.
probably because you're young and just being outside and active all
Stoned
the time.
16-year-old running around. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Instead of now a stoned adult that's just like, I'm going to kick back and watch a movie.
Dude, let me tell you. Okay. Did you guys have any stupid games you played as drunk teenagers or whatever? So we had this game
We drove around through bottles at things.
for sure, and I can go on a tangent about that.
Fuck.
We had this game called Shoe, and it was basically like tag, but it was you'd get stoned, and then you'd jump on a trampoline, and you would leave a shoe in the middle of it. And that shoe was treated like a hacky sack or a kickball or whatever. And if you kicked the shoe into the other person and it hit them, they were out basically. But it'd get really violent. So
Say like go south quick.
yeah, so there's a bunch of us bouncing on there, and so you're bouncing while the other people around you are either trying to get to the shoe and kick it at you, or they're trying to fuck you up. You ever bounce on a trampoline, have somebody like jump just before you jump, so you like flop off to your side, and that just like
Yeah, it's like your knees almost buckle on you.
they literally buckle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you'd have that going on. You'd have somebody trying to hyperextend your knees and also kick you with a shoe and or their foot.
Jesus.
It was fun.
Well, we never did that kind of dumb shit. We had a guy, one of our neighbors, they built like they dug a hole for their trampoline. Don't know why. So it sat like 10 inches above ground level.
Huh.
And we would set up our bike ramps and we would jump our bikes onto the trampoline and then try to jump off the other side.
Oh, I was gonna say, are you trying to jump over the trampoline?
No. You try to like land on it and then we were like, we could do a flip off of it. And no, you'd get hurt and land on your back. or some shit.
Would you spring with the bike back up?
A little bit. Not enough to like do anything
Huh.
crazy.
That's interesting. That's something I can see you doing with all of your BMX background.
I think the only reason they did that though is they don't want their kids to fall off and like break an arm. So
Oh,
like,
no,
we'll
it's
just bring it
smart,
down
yeah.
to their level.
It's smart.
But then it would rain and the hole would fill with water, and then we'd jump in the trampoline. And there's water all under it, splashing up and shit.
That sounds disgusting.
Refreshing.
Is there's like no drain in the bottom of it?
No, it's just a fucking hole.
Does it just smell like rotten dirt?
Yeah, pretty much. And it was Kansas, so it'd get 105 outside. And
We can get all steamy.
yeah, it just felt nasty.
You imagine how much mold is on the bottom of that trampoline?
All of it.
Yeah,
I'm sure
just-
that trampoline's long gone by now.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
There's dumb shit.
So okay, you rode BMX for ages, and you were pretty fucking good at it. So you had to have done some
Debatable.
stupid shit. I mean, off the end of docks or
I never did the off the dock thing.
no.
I wish I would have, but I never did.
Did you like ever jump a big staircase or something crazy?
Oh yeah.
What's the biggest staircase you've jumped then? There's cameras on you, so don't lie.
It was about a 45 stare.
I honestly don't remember. Maybe like a 16 or something.
That's
Jesus
actually really
Christ.
impressive. That's nuts.
I almost killed myself on. I mean, I landed it, but I almost killed myself on a 5 stair on a skateboard.
Well, you can go,
I walked down the stairs
as long as
once.
you go fast enough. I mean, it don't.
That's true.
16.
On a
So
bike, I
we're
guess if you have
talking.
the speed, but
I'm just trying to remember, like in my head. It's probably way bigger in my memory than it actually was.
Okay, so
but even at
typical
10 stairs, that's still a good height.
Well, a typical stair is what, 8 inches of rise? Is it something like that?
I might revise and go like 14.
So 8 times 16.
That's still,
oh,
that's
okay,
still
let's
a lot
say
of stairs.
8 times 14, 112 inches at least. So divided by 12 is 9.3 feet. You are jumping down.
It's pretty close.
And you got to figure out that distance too. So I'm sure it's at least 10 feet of distance outward. That's crazy. You must have been cooking.
That's a lot to cover.
Yeah.
Jesus.
That one.
Now, did you ever hurt yourself because of this?
Oh yeah.
Like broken arm?
I never broke an arm. Worst was probably my ankle.
You broke your ankle? Or shattered your ankle?
It was close.
It was in between.
I tore just
Somewhere
like
in there.
every muscle and ligament in my ankle. Like tore like 3/4 of my Achilles.
Damn.
Yeah, that's bad. That's
Damn,
like surgery
dude.
level bad.
Didn't actually have surgery on that. They just immobilized it and let it heal.
No shit.
Oh wow,
And
dude.
monitored.
God damn. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
no thanks.
wild. If you can do a 16 stair, you must have done a lot in the ramps too. Then.
Yeah, because like the little jumping stair things, like I don't need to put my ankles through that. So like I did it like once in a while, but like that wasn't my thing.
Was that the hardest? As far as like damage to your body, is your ankles the hardest? Most affected with BMX?
I don't know about for everyone, but it totally was for me. Because even like I'm a bigger dude, and I was a bigger, heavier dude then, compared to like most other people riding then.
Yeah.
So like I don't know. For me, I took most of the ankles.
Jesus Christ. So okay, you said heavier, dude. Were you like when I met you? You were like post Coast Guard.
Yes.
And were you heavier before the Coast Guard then?
No.
Okay, gotcha. But you were still like 6'2", 6'1"?
6'2", 6'3".
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Jesus. I suppose that would be really because you're probably 190 pounds at that time, something like
I
that.
was probably over 200.
You were over 200. Fucking landed on your ankles. Yeah, I could see that being rough.
Screw that.
Jesus. That's fucking nuts, dude. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
so because you did BMX back in the day, are you gonna let your boys do it?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well,
Well, yeah. It's
I hope they take an interest in it.
Yeah. It's like be as safe as you can, but you gotta have fun.
Yeah.
Oh, totally, dude.
Shit's gonna happen. You can break your ankle stepping off a curb.
Well, and here's the thing. Like, when I was getting into skateboarding, if you wore a helmet, you were a pussy. And you were judged because of it. The generation that's coming up, it's just the norm for all of them to wear helmets. And, you know, I mean, wear knee guards and wrist guards and all that shit. Wear it, whatever. It's up to you. But, like, the most important thing is the fucking helmet.
Exactly.
I mean,
keep your brain in your head.
your brain isn't fully formed until you're like 24 or 25 years old anyways.
Yeah.
So, you know, you probably want to protect that when you're younger. But I completely agree that just fucking let kids
Let them play.
let them play hard. Yeah. Like, they got to get into something.
Yeah, I feel it's very important for kids to get hurt
Oh yeah.
because they gotta learn to pick themselves up.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Like,
And
for sure,
hopefully, if
it's
they
not
like
hard.
get started at a younger age, they'll acquire skills faster, and maybe they won't be
Oh, for
as
sure.
prone to. I don't know. See where they take it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure you guys are the same way, but do you ever see your kid excel at something and you're like, holy shit, like you're just blown away by what they can do at their age, to the point where like you want to push them more to do it?
Yes. My 3-year-old especially, he's just, especially compared to what my oldest was at his age, when he's doing at his age, it just blows my mind. I have to remind myself that he's only 3 and he's doing the things that he's doing.
So like what kind of hobby does he like really love and keep going for?
Actually, he loves riding his little bike.
Okay. So
Yeah,
so
he's fucking fast on that thing.
So he's gonna be a BMX rider then, probably.
We'll see. Mm-hmm. I gotta try to expose him with some ramps here at some point.
Yeah,
That's
I
awesome.
feel like he's the most likely to be, and we don't know Bodie yet because he's so young. But I feel like he's the most likely to have those like physical characteristics to be into BMX or whatever, mountain biking.
Compared to Oliver the oldest, he is fearless in comparison. He's not afraid to put himself
so
out
dangerous.
there. Like Oliver has a bunk bed, and like he climbed up to the top of the bunk bed before Oliver did, and like
Really,
he just climb up, like look at me.
that's awesome.
Yeah, he's gonna be your
terrifying
little,
and
little
awesome.
daredevil. He just does all of it.
Hence why he didn't get a bunk bed.
Nice, yeah.
He jumping off the top.
It's like you're already giving us heckin' frightens. Yeah, that's pretty cool, and that stuff kind of starts emerging. My son is just car and motorcycle obsessed, so he hasn't shown a like physical aptitude towards anything in particular. He's just like he's like a tight end or a really really thick running back, like a big center or something like that. Like he's not center.
I don't know. Football.
What do we got? Football.
Quarterback, wide receiver.
There's halfback. Is it center? There's halfbacks and centers.
I don't know.
Are those the
Goalie.
running backs?
I don't know.
Yeah, he's
Sports.
Isn't there,
Yeah, he's
isn't
got-
there a point guard?
something like that.
Outfield?
So he hasn't shown physical aptitude towards anything in particular, but he's obsessed with motorcycles and cars to the point where he can point out Corvettes and Mustangs now. He'll just be like, Corvette, Mustang. He'll say it his way.
I know
That's
he
impressive.
recognizes
Yeah,
my
he's
cars when I pull up.
Oh yeah,
Which is
he
impressive
knows
as hell.
friends' cars. So he'll be
Yeah.
like Donnie's car. It's
That's
fucking
mind-blowing.
nuts. So I think that's where that's going to lead him, and we'll see what comes out of the physical characteristics. But your son is a genuine savant.
He likes playing disc golf. That's
Likes
his thing.
playing disc golf.
That's-
He's hooked. And this kid at 3 years old is crazy good.
He can throw a little over 50 feet now.
No,
impressive.
he can sink baskets
From, like-
at like 30 feet.
Oh, no, farther than that now. I
Yeah.
took him out Sunday evening, and he sank one from like 35. Like
That's
dead
so
center.
nuts. This is a 24-foot deep garage. So we're tacking on 6 more, and he'll throw from that wall to a basket that is this big, and he'll sink it. And he's 3 years old.
If he stood here,
4? 3 years old.
3. If he stood here, I bet you could hit your fence. Like he's got a little arm on him, and that's
It's
all he
fucking
likes to
nuts.
do, which is a blessing sometimes, but also a curse.
Yeah.
Because like I'll get home from work, and like, Dad, throw. I'm like, Dad's not gonna go throw. Dad's tired as hell. I want to sit down. You throw, and Dad will drink a beer and watch you.
So do you have your own basket in your yard?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was supposed to be mine to like practice on, and then he uses it way more than I do.
And it's funny because like Donnie is, you're humble for him too. So you're just like, yeah, he's pretty good. And I'm sitting at Donnie's place on the back deck, and I'm watching this kid chuck this thing from 20 feet and just like, bam, hitting the chains, like one after another, just fucking nailing baskets. And I'm like, dude, do you understand how fucking talented your son is at that age? Like, that's that Shaun White shit.
Yeah.
Where it's just like he was basically
He'll-
birthed into a snowboard.
He's gonna get tested on Saturday, so wife and I are actually gonna drive up to Highbridge, Wisconsin, and take him with. So
Nice.
Highbridge is a mega complex. They have 5 courses on the property.
I've been there once. I don't
Okay.
remember. most of
Okay.
it.
I was gonna say somebody had a bachelor party up there, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
But he's gonna get to play 2 courses in one day, so we'll see how his little arm does.
Nice.
But he's played like all the big courses in the area. He'll go and play with me and whatnot, and he's
God
not
damn,
quite
dude.
to the point where he can actually play, but he's close. Like the smaller par 3 courses, I'll be like, yeah, you can throw every shot.
It's so exciting when kids start showing a skill for something.
Yeah.
Especially when they're really good at it.
I think he's gonna stick with it because he's so obsessed with it.
Do you want beer?
He I actually bought him a new disc for this weekend because I thought he'd enjoy that and whatnot. And now Harper had soccer and all that, so she's had a lot of my attention. So I'm like, okay, I'll buy you a disc and we'll take you out. And kids, the wonderful things about kids is you get to spoil them with things that they love, but within any given moment, you also have to deal with them misbehaving and then take that thing away.
For sure, yeah.
So he got a new disc. He loved it. He flipped out. Was like, "Oh my god, this is so cool!" And then like an hour later, we're sitting down for dinner, and he's up and down off the table and not playing with his food and just doing all this stuff. And like he got sent to his room and was talking back. And so I just grabbed his new disc off his dresser that he's had for like 45 minutes. And I look at him like, "You don't get this back until you learn to behave." And the look on that kid's face, like he broke down in tears and was screaming no, and like, and then it's like you got to take something they love.
Well,
but at the same time, it's like it sucks because they're like, "I just want to have fun," and you're ruining it.
Well, I don't feel too bad about that stuff. I don't like having to take something away from my son that he loves, but I think leverage is really important as long as you're not being an asshole about it. Or it's like, okay, so the kid's being a shithead and he's screwing off and he's not listening and it's something, he's got to eat or whatever it is. If he's not doing the thing he's supposed to do, then he's earned it. And the fact that you have leverage is a very useful tool.
Speaking of which, so I'm sure you've listened to it. There's a podcast, 5 months ago, where my daughter was to share a story where my daughter put her foot through the drum set of my son that he had, his toy drum set he had.
I remember.
Yeah,
I remember the podcast.
Yep. And she had a unicorn display that I just snapped in half in front of her and asked her how she liked it when I broke her shit. Since that incident, she hasn't broken a single thing of his.
Really?
She doesn't mess with any of his shit.
Wow.
Like, he's got like a stack of like 10 discs that I've given him, just hand-me-downs and shit like that. A couple for Christmas, birthday. And they'll be outside playing, and she'll ask him, "Can I have one of your discs?"
Simple
She won't
yet
even go
effective.
pick them up in the yard. She'll ask him, "Hey, can I play with that?"
That's awesome.
Wow, dude.
So apparently, sometimes you just gotta put them in their fucking place.
Oh, man.
Make them cry.
We're struggling with sharing right now, so
It's so
very
bad.
relatable.
Sharing is probably the hardest thing to teach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Atticus is definitely struggling with it too. Well, he's the oldest, and so Lumen's here, new. She's wanted to play with all of his toys, and she's curious about all that shit. So he's constantly defending his shit from her. So it can't be easy to be the oldest and lose ground.
Yeah. Oh, and then not only that, it's not just the toys, but it's mom and dad too. You go from having mom and dad's attention 24/7 to she fusses and dad could be playing with you, and then dad has to go take care of sister, and now he's like, "Well, what the fuck? We were doing stuff."
Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah.
Just hit him. I'm joking. Don't hit your children. Speaking of which, can I get a stout from you? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you had it there.
I was being
Thank you. These are good. You're missing out.
Oh yeah, I mean, I love a stout.
Someday you'll have hair in your chest and can enjoy a real beer.
I was drinking dark beer when you were like in single digits, probably.
You're what, 38?
I'm 38 now.
So 7 years older, 21. Do my math. Yeah, I was 14.
Oh, okay.
I didn't have a driver's license.
Yeah,
I couldn't even drive to the bar. Hell, I couldn't even work to have money to go to the bar.
You hadn't even touched a boob yet.
That's not true.
Your moms don't count.
Exactly.
What about his?
Oh, zing. Okay, I'll give that one to you.
How's she doing, by the way?
She's great, dude. Same cans.
I should make fun of her. Your mom's a very lovely person. The 2 times I met her.
Yes, she's a good one. Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Jake's mom, if you're watching, I'm sorry.
Don't be. She's got a good sense of humor. Steve, what's going on with that S10?
Yes.
Struggling to get it done. Hoping to get it done before snow flies, so I know everything. So at least I know what I need to fix over the winter.
It's exciting. I'm really looking forward to that thing.
So, what is done to your S10 now? Because you were going to swap motors last time I heard.
Yes.
Did you?
Yes.
Okay.
So the old small block,
Okay.
first gen small block is gone. 6-liter LS now.
So it's going to scoot like a motherfucker.
Yep. Head cams, pistons, high compression setup.
Okay. So yeah, she's
Fuck yeah.
great.
Yeah. That's the idea.
Hell yeah, man. And what are you thinking, like the ballpark horsepower wise?
I'm hoping shooting for 550.
That's so
My goal was 600, but I don't think that's achievable. But I'm shooting for 550.
So I'm assuming 600 is like domed pistons.
Probably.
Yeah, we're talking like 12 and a half, 13 to 1 kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay, you want to keep it NA, correct?
Well, we'll see.
Okay, because
I want to get it up and running, try it out anyway.
That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, start somewhere and then go from there.
Yeah, there might be a supercharger in the future. We'll see.
God, that'd be fun.
I like where this is going.
I really like the sounds of being part of the 700 Club.
Hell yeah. The one without Pat Robertson.
Yes.
Dude, that'd be so fucking gnarly in that little truck, too. Well,
Yes.
and one of my favorite things about your pickup is that, like, you've built everything around it, too. So there's a couple of S10s in town that got small blocks swapped into them, and they're fun, and they're pretty cool. But nobody's sitting on the suspension and the brakes and the wheels and tires like your truck is.
Did you have one-off built wheels for that truck?
Kind of.
'Cause-
They were the offset was built for me. Yeah.
okay, that's what it was. I remember seeing something
so
online
fucking legit.
years ago.
Yeah, they're nice wheels.
Yeah.
Such a gorgeous
What brand
truck.
are they? Like Boyd Conningtons or
Billet
something?
Specialties.
Billet. Yeah, there you go. Even better. Fuck yeah, man. So you actually had to contact them and say, like, I love these wheels, but I need this offset?
Actually, I was put in contact with them because a friend of a friend or a friend knows the owner. So
Damn.
yeah, so they put me in touch and we made things happen.
That's fucking sweet, dude.
That's a hookup.
Yeah, no shit.
So we know you. Could we do a friend of a friend of a friend?
I mean, I can set you up with them.
You got a phone number for customer service.
You can find it on the website.
Yeah, right. Just go to contact us and fill out the sheet. No, that's fucking legit though, man. And they fit perfect too. They're like they got the hella flush.
Yeah, I measured twice, ordered once.
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah.
The fit's perfect.
And you got like what 285s in the back or something like that.
It's currently 275.
275.
I might bump it up to 295. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be tight.
You might need it.
Yeah, because I think
Yeah.
it's gonna move, and you're gonna need some fucking traction.
Fuck yeah, man. I know. I'm just excited because like the way that you've built it, you've got QA1 all over the place. You got a Mosier rear end.
Yes.
Yeah, and then like coilovers,
Yes.
Caltrax,
Yes.
and lightened everything. Everything is aluminum or it's a plastic or it's a carbon fiber.
I'm not trying to give all away my secrets.
No, but so yeah, sorry. Now you're like, God damn, I shouldn't have told Jake all this
We
shit.
should show him the pictures of everything and.
Yeah, and the part numbers. So she's gonna boogie, basically. Long story short, light chassis, well set up, and hopefully a 6-liter LS that's gonna boogie.
Yes.
Yeah, that should be so much fun.
So, do you have plans to do some drag events with it? Then is that end goal?
Road
or?
course.
Road course.
I've tried not to. Most S10s are very drag specific.
Yeah.
I've tried to keep it
All around.
well rounded, kind of like a Swiss Army knife.
So there's ice racing this
yeah.
year. Rally
Oh,
X.
that'd be so sad.
I'm joking. Your truck is a masterpiece.
The
I
moment
would.
Russ shows up, I think he'd just fucking cry.
I'd probably hit you if I saw your truck out there.
Fuck, I'd send it. Fuck it.
He'd send it. And you know what though? It dawned on me, like, so you work at the shipyard and you're like you're like the crane dude, like, number one up there.
Yes.
So you work a lot. With Brian's track being fucking 10 minutes from your house, something like that, maybe 15 minutes from your house.
Yeah.
Once autocross gets set up there, that's going to be like your proving grounds.
Oh,
Yeah.
I look forward to taking advantage of that.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude.
Because when I started going down this new direction with my truck, I always kind of want to try to do like the triple track challenge at Proving Grounds.
Yeah.
I don't even care if I come in dead last. Just the fact that I could do autocross, road course, drag racing, all three with the same truck.
Ah, that's such a good goal.
That's what it's about.
And then also keeping it streetable, because I'd love to do like a rally someday, like something like that, and just.
Well, they do. It was Wisconsin. What they call it? There's a form. They called it a rally, but the goal was they'd say, okay, you need to get from point A to point B. It would take you X amount of minutes, and your goal was to get as close to that target time as possible. I can't remember what it was called. I heard about it years ago, back when the forums were a thing.
Yeah, well, I think that's the premise of a lot of the rallies is just sort of a time thing.
Yeah.
They set up point to point, and it's usually like kind of a pretty drive or whatever, so they want it to be a nice enjoyment, and it's never like set up to intentionally break speed limits or anything like that. But
keep it legal.
There's a special name for that kind of event. I can't remember.
Cannonball Run. Those are usually
Sort of,
all out though. That's like get there as fast as possible.
Yeah, this was like, okay, we're gonna do the speed limit. If it says 15 minutes, your goal is to hit 15 minutes on the nose.
It might just be rally, because that's what the rally at 10,000 Lakes is, I think.
Yeah, we should do it. We all three have good driving vehicles.
Well, I think the dime would be great at Power Tour. Like, it's not
gonna
gonna
hit a Power Tour once, so I can just check.
Fucking
it out.
check that off the box, dude. Yeah, because it's like the truck is so. A lot of builds, there's always there's a chink in the armor. There's something that hasn't been touched yet. And your truck's really well sorted, and it's sorted to the point where like everything in it should be able to handle the horsepower it's going to put down. So something like Drag Week is probably a really good situation, because you're just like, oh, cool, I can go out there. I can fucking bracket race all day long because it's well set up. You know, it'll handle all of it. I can do, run after run. And yeah, that's a good example of like an event that's just a good cruise. You go out, you run a pass or two, cruise to the next track, It looks like a blast.
Yeah, everything in my drivelines built for like about twice of what I should be putting down.
Nice. That's the way to do it.
It should be quick and reliable.
Yes,
which is
that's the idea.
hard to say.
Yeah, so let the tires be the breaking point. Yeah.
And that's definitely the way to do it.
Yeah.
Well, even with my old small block, my drag radials were still the breaking.
So that was a Gen 1?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was a Gen 1 small block. I thought it was a Gen 2.
No.
Oh, wow. That's impressive. Because that thing it went. It lit those fucking tires up.
It moved out.
Yeah, for being a Gen 1. So what did that come out of?
Like a 70s truck.
60s or so? Okay, yeah. Because when did the small block show up?
Junkyard motor out of a old Chevy truck.
It's the 60s, right? Wasn't that when they introduced the Gen 1
Something
Chevy
like that.
small block? The 350, 325, something like that?
Yeah.
Isn't the 350 the small block?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think the smallest small block was like the 5.3 or something like that. I don't remember. No, 4.8. The 4.8's considered a small block.
I don't know my Chevys well enough.
And the 4.8's got to be like a 300 cubic inch. I don't fucking know. Do you know?
Not off the top of my head.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know either. It's somewhere in that ballpark.
Just starts throwing numbers.
So,
We've already lost the audience. They're just hearing numbers.
They've checked out.
Yeah. But yeah, your Gen 1 was fun. It was fun to watch you go and just like rip the fucking tires off. Yeah. So
All
you
right,
work
blow steam off.
Yeah, exactly. You work a shitload. And so when you would bring that thing out, I always knew I was going to see donuts.
Time for a show.
That was like the funnest part. I was like, oh, Steve showed up in the dime. And you'd go down the fucking port, whether it was Cruise for Cancer or a Tuesday car meet or something like that. And you'd go just fucking tear the tires off of that thing. And you'd roll up with this big shit-eating grin on your face. Like,
Guilty.
Yeah.
Guilty.
Yeah, man. It's what it's all about, dude.
Is it sad though that whenever I bump into you or see ya, it's not your dime that comes to my mind? It's your Datsun that you had.
Oh,
I'm pretty
dude.
sure.
That's always the first car I think of every time I see
I'm pretty sure
you.
I'm still in most people's phone as Datsun or 240Zs.
240Z, Steve.
Very first car that comes to my mind.
Jeez, dude. I mean, you're
I'm sorry.
I'm
I'm sorry to pull that
make
heartstrings
Steve
here.
sad. Is that the one that got away?
Yes and no. Well,
Yeah.
back when I had the car, it was turning into a love-hate relationship. And in a way, it was time to let it go, but at the same time, I wish I wouldn't have let it go.
Right.
It did go to a good home, and it's in a better place now. but at the same time, I wouldn't mind having it back.
Right. Well, so when you had it, it started off with the triple Webers.
Yep.
And those were giving you a lot of trouble.
Well, I blamed a lot of things on the triple Webers, and I shouldn't have. But hindsight's 2020.
What was it? Was it a timing issue?
It was
it a
distributor? Yeah, timing.
Oh, god damn it. Yeah, I get that because that's what my E21 was like. I could never dial in exactly what the problem was. Well, come to find out, it was running it was running a stock distributor with a that thing MSD Blaster 2 with a ballast resistor and all this stuff. So it was just knocking down the spark. And I didn't understand carbs and the distributor ignitions very well. Like I knew it with Hondas, but the Hondas were a different can of worms. They were newer, and there was other ways to improve things. But like, what the problem was, I had a lot of air and a lot of fuel coming in, and I didn't have adequate spark to spark through it when you were really getting on it, and it was pushing a lot
Bogging
through.
down
And so that was a big part of the issue with the performance of that thing. Had I known, I would have upgraded the crap out of the ignition and done a 6AL and all that stuff, and solved that problem, and it would have sparked right through it.
Yeah.
So it was a situation like that, where
So,
the Webers
yeah.
are probably fine.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I sold them on eBay and made a ton of money off them. And I paid to replace a bunch of other stuff on the car. So, I mean, in hindsight, I should have kept them, but in the time, it made sense
whatever.
at the time.
Yeah, but it was a fun car, and it treated
absolutely.
you pretty good for a while. Yeah.
I mean, that's how cars go, though.
Yep.
Like, I don't know.
Made a lot of memories in that car.
Times
right.
change, and sometimes you just have to sell when you have to sell.
Yeah. Well, and you made a good point about it going to a good home, because clearly Ben said, okay, I'm stripping this thing completely down.
Yeah, he did it right. He completely stripped it down, rotisserie'd it. It's a legit show car now.
It really is.
It really is.
It was so cool because, do we have the forum, or was that Facebook at that time?
That was that awkward in between early Facebook time.
He might have been posting it in both places, but I remember watching the metal patchwork, where he was literally cutting holes out of floors and frame rails and all that stuff, and inner fenders, whatever, having every single bit of rust cut out of that thing and redone, and then stripped down, sandblast or soda blasted, I think, or something like that. And yeah, he did it right.
No, he LS swapped that, didn't he?
Yeah, he just LS.
Didn't he?
Last winter he
Just LS swapped it?
Yeah, he LS swapped it.
Well, he did the L24.
Yep.
L24. He
might have
did
swapped
Webers.
it for a L28 for a little while.
And then he did an SR?
He had an SR in it, then he went back to, I think, the 24, and now LS is in there.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
From last time I talked to him, he's loving, he wishes he would have done it sooner.
The LS, yeah.
Yeah.
I know. It's in so many minds, it's total sacrilege to put an LS in there. But at the same time,
It makes sense.
if you're enjoying it, who the fuck cares?
Exactly. Teach their own. I mean, build the car for what you want.
Yeah, make it reliable, make it powerful. Yeah.
Yeah, and what's more reliable? T56, right?
Yeah, he actually, I don't remember, but he went, I think, with the 350Z tranny.
Oh, CD09. Yeah.
I don't remember what it was.
And cut the bell housing on it.
I
I
think
think there was an adapter place.
Yeah, I
so
don't-
you went-
Okay, I thought you had to cut
Exactly.
part of the bell housing off.
they make adapters now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Man, you never should have sold the hood.
Or the Pantera hatch.
Or the hatch.
Yeah, that hatch was awesome on that car.
It was. I love that. Yeah. But I get the criticism of LS swapping stuff because everybody's doing it. But what those people tend to forget is that there's a reason for it.
Oh, yeah.
When you ride in a really well put together LS swapped whatever, you go, fucking Christ. Like, okay, I get it.
I do.
Yeah.
I just
Especially if you plan on actually using the car on a
Well, and
regular
that's
basis.
exactly it. Like, we could, sure, he could do a fucking stroked out L28 with triple Webers on it and just fucking throw the book at it and spend all the cheddar. But it's probably going to make less horsepower than a fucking 6-liter or a 5.3 with a cam and some headers.
Yep, and he even had all the parts to do a super rare stroker setup, and I was kind of pushing him that way, but I'm glad he went the way he did.
Yeah. And well, and the beauty of it is with the Datsun, you can go back. There was no cutting, there was no
It all fits
hammering
easily.
or anything like that.
Yeah.
So you can always go back if you really care to. But I don't know, the LS is, I've kind of seen the light since I've LS swapped the shoebox. I've caught some criticism for it, and that's fine because they came with flatheads. And the flathead is literally probably the most stylish V8 that you can possibly run because they're gorgeous and they sound super cool. They don't make shit for power, but like
No, they don't.
they're the most unique engine swap or most unique engines ever. But I don't know. They're prone to overheating and they're problematic and they're old as fuck. And
Do you really want to put your family in it and drive 200 miles?
that's the thing.
Or drive back from Iowa and have it break down last 45 minutes.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened. And granted, I could have learned a thing or two and realized that, it was just points that I, could have readjusted or I could have brought an extra set with. So there's room for improvement there, but still, I feel really good about the LS swap in this thing, and I'm gonna continue to catch criticism for it.
Have you gotten criticism for it?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Especially in the shoebox community, there's
that
still
I can see. The purists.
the older crowd, the nifty 50 kind of group, back to the 50s type of group, they're very much traditionalists, and they would love to see a flathead, number one. Number two, it needs to be a 302, carbureted 302, or a 351 Windsor. So those are sort of like the the acceptable swaps. And then there's if you put an LS in it or you put a small block Chev, well, I should say if you put a small block Chev in it, they get pissy. You put an LS in it, they get fucking sassy. They're just like, the fuck is this?
That sounds like a good reason to do it, though.
But at the end of the day, would that crowd rather see that car just sit in rot or sit in a garage, or would they rather see that car get used?
Exactly.
Right.
And driven.
Yeah, that's the goal at the end of the day, right? I take it all with a grain of salt because I care a lot less these days about the opinions of others when it comes to like when I'm swapping into my car. So it's like, it's fine. They can have their criticism of whatever I put into that thing, but that's the point at the end of the day, is that you're building something that you're actually going to drive and use, and that should be the fucking goal at the end of the day.
Yep. You do you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Fuck
Build the
everybody
car
else.
for you.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not building it for anyone else.
Yeah, exactly. And we got like the king of sacrilege right here, who puts a fucking turbo imported Nissan motor into his BMW.
The World War II bomber, essentially.
So you've got some fucking updates about that thing.
Yeah, so it's been a fucking struggle. It's been an uphill battle. It's been running extremely lean. Like I'm talking, I pulled the plugs and they were cocaine white. Like
The strap looks like the porcelain.
yeah,
Oh boy.
yeah, like pitch white. So we're thinking it's a fuel issue, and for some reason I don't know why, I never knew anything about this, but the pre-facelift BMW E30s, so that's 86 and 85. Mine's an 86, has 2 fuel pumps.
Okay.
There's one in the tank, and then there's the primary that's right outside the tank and feeds the line. So I've swapped in a Marlboro 255, thinking, okay, cool, I'm gonna have all the fuel in the world. We got this. But I never took out the other fuel pump.
So the other fuel pump is acting as a restriction.
Exactly. So that's what I worked on tonight, and then had some issues finding barbed fittings at Menards because, God forbid, we put all the brass fucking fittings together, the same goddamn fucking area. A little tangent. Menards, if you're watching this, fuck you.
I'm gonna have to go there and see where this is. How they're in different spots now.
They have one section that's got all the PEX fittings. It's got the brass and bronze compression fittings and like stuff for garden hose and all that. That's not where I found the barbed fittings I needed. I walked over 2 aisles, and halfway down in the middle of a whole aisle filled with PVC barbed fittings that are brass.
Huh.
I was like, you cocksuckers. What are you doing? Why do you have brass fittings
How
with
do you
PVC?
really feel?
Oh, I'm pissed.
Right. So what you ended up doing is like you just found a barb with a male thread and then a barb with a female thread, and then you're good to go.
Tighten the fuck out of it with
That's
some
all the end of
Teflon,
it.
and then shoved my hoses on there. So it runs. I drove it, and then found out that I accidentally created a vacuum leak. So one of the issues I was also having is my tile blow-off valve was kind of fluttering a little bit when you gave it just a little bit of throttle.
Okay.
And it being a MAF car, it sees all this extra air coming in and freaks the hell out. So a way to adjust those is to put washers in there. I put a washer in there. Now, I didn't think about what I did, and I take the piston of the blow-off valve out, and I take the spring out, and I put my washer in, and I put the spring back on and the piston back on.
Oops.
Yeah, all I did was make the spring stronger, so now the piston doesn't close all the way. Which is why I got my fuel system all figured out tonight. I went for a drive, like, fuck, it's still acting the same. And then I hear a whistle when I get home, and I check, I'm like, oh shit, that's not closed yet. So I need to rip it back apart,
That's
take
so
the
damn
washer
funny.
out, put the spring back in, the piston back in, then put the washer, put it back together. And it hopefully will run great. Yeah, so that's where that sits. But I did get it out for Cruise for Cancer a little bit. Made it to the meet.
Yeah, man.
It got a ton of love, which made me feel good and want me to keep
Right.
going forward with
should.
it. My goal for the car has changed slightly, though. When I first started this swap, the goal was a good daily that could go to the track, and that's still in the top 3. That's still definitely priority number 2. But kind of a sappy goal number 1 for that car is I want some kid to see that car and be the reason they get into cars.
Nice.
I saw an old shitty Subaru Brat in a car magazine back in the day, which I've shared with you, that had a 13B swapped into it. The thing is just shit. He cut all the arches out of the wheel well so the tires could fit and stuff like that. And it's a drift machine. It's on, I think Speed Hunters is the website. Check it out if you can Google search it. But that's what got me to like, I want to build something crazy. And now I'm at that stage where I get to build something crazy. I have the money and the time to do it. And I don't know. I was at a gas station putting gas in it, and this kid walked out with his dad. It's like, oh, I really like your car. And I'm like, fuck. Like, I want that. I want some kid to see it and be like, holy shit, I want to build something crazy like that in the future.
Hell
I
yeah.
know. That is such a good fucking
that's like
feeling.
goal number 1 is to be an inspiration piece, followed by like do all the things car. Not ice racing or Rally X though.
Why limit yourself?
Right.
It does have the rust to do ice racing, but no. The shit thing is that body is still probably worth a couple grand easily because it's a BMW and it's old now. So it's so close. I want to beat on it a couple of times before the snow flies.
You'll get to.
Amen.
That's
Yeah. Yeah, well, you're in the same boat.
Yeah.
You're at the hustle stage.
I'm grinding. I was grinding hard to make the cruise, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Well, I mean, I know that you ran into a shitload of issues too, where it's like, this part's not coming in time, and this
lot of-
exhaust
that's been the
piping.
worst.
There was
lately.
a lot of supply chain issues.
Yeah.
A lot of waiting on certain parts, and I just finally said screw it, and I started just hunting other vendors, and like, even though I got things on backward, I'm like, screw it, send it.
So, do you, when you have a goal, that's Cruise for Cancer, if you don't reach that goal, do you get pissed off at the car so you don't touch it for like 4 days? Because that happened to me this week, which is why I just worked on it today.
In this case, I haven't. I'm gonna just kind of try to keep the momentum up. Well, obviously, I'm taking the night off, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep the momentum so I at least try to test things out before the snow flies.
Because like I was pushing, well, first it was Power Cruise, and then it was Cruise for Cancer. And it kind of happened, and then I was like, fuck you, car. I'm not going to touch
Yeah.
it till Thursday. Which,
Yeah.
in hindsight, I really should have got to sooner because I could have figured out my whole fitting issue. And then I would have discovered my vacuum leak, and I could have probably drove it to your house tonight.
Well, I mean,
Bit myself in the ass.
That's a part of the hustle. You
Yeah.
know, it's well, I did the same thing with the shoebox, and you know, you had a quote, and I don't remember the exact words of it, but you had talked about
bitches
how
make money?
That's the one. That's the one. Success lies at the end of that. Just like if you chip away, if you do an hour a night.
Yeah, the whole sloppy mechanics mindset.
Oh, that came from Sloppy?
Well,
So
I
much
didn't
truth
get
to
it
that,
from
though.
Sloppy, but I learned after the fact that they have the same advice.
Yeah, where it's like, just hack away at it.
It's
like
it's
a little
so
bit
spot
every...
on though. It really is.
Yep. If you just keep chipping with it, it's gonna get done eventually.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you figure if you have an hour, you're like, okay, well, what do I do this hour? I put in all my clamps I needed for my intercooler piping, or I changed out my spark plugs and realized they're running lean. Like, okay, that's not a lot done, but it gives you something for the next night.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll literally be sitting at work, planning out my night. Like, I can get X, Y, Z done, and I plan it out in my head, and I just go and execute.
Yeah, it's the way to do it, man.
So do you set a goal for, like, I've had nights where I'm like, okay, my goal for tonight is hang my intercooler. Like, at the end of the night, that's the one thing I wanted to get done. And sometimes you'll get there and you're like, oh, I still have an hour left. And you're like, you know what? It's been a long day. I got my one big goal done. I'm going to take the rest of the night off.
Yeah, as long as I get
For sure.
something done. Usually I'm the other way. Like, I'll be over ambitious, and before I know it, I'm like, oh, I need to get to bed, but I'm still not done with this. I'm
Like,
like,
shit, I got to go to work
Dude,
in
I'm
3
the same
hours.
way.
yeah. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, I need to sleep.
Well, yeah, I'll leading up to getting that thing running for Brews for Cancer, it was the same way where it was just like I was out here till 1 o'clock in the morning, and granted, I don't work quite as early as you guys, so it's 1 o'clock in the morning is probably like your
10
midnight
o'clock?
or 11:30.
What time do you go to work?
What time? My start time?
Yeah.
Depends, but typically it's 7.
Oh, you guys are all late. Fucking sleeping in.
Every day's different.
Continue, old man.
Yeah. So, but yeah, like you just you get in the groove, and I refuse to look at the time. Like when I get in the groove, I refuse to look at the time because I know that that's gonna break my concentration, and I'm gonna think about the fact that I'm gonna get less sleep. And when I start thinking about the fact that I get less sleep, then I start feeling tired. Then I start making mistakes, and I start getting crabbier and whatever. And suddenly, like, you end up with more problems and whatever. But if you stay fucking focused on that thing, whatever the task is, you just kind of crank through it until you find, like, a satisfying spot to be like,
No.
I'm ready to step away.
What I found worked best for me was, okay, like, let's say my goal was to be inside by 9:30. I'd set an alarm on my phone for 9 o'clock.
There's some
then-
nights I didn't get out of the garage till 9:30.
Well,
Yeah.
again, my wife's a saint. She raises 4 children, so. But yeah, so I get home at 3. I'll eat a sandwich. And I'll be out there from 4 to 9, and I'll set that alarm, knowing that, like, okay, I really have till 9:30. But that last half hour is like, okay, wrap up anything that needs to get wrapped up, put shit away, which is usually just toss it on the tool bench lately.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Like,
I know, I
it's
get
cars. That's how it goes.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. So, the dime's got to be pretty close then.
It's close. Biggest thing is getting the wiring wrapped up.
And that's for the Terminator?
Terminator and other miscellaneous
Well,
terminations.
we have a wiring episode if you
if I'm
if you need any
need any pointers.
pointers, advice, anything like that.
So don't use Scotch logs? Is that what they're called? Scotch logs? They're the they're like the clampy, they're plastic with like an aluminum S-shaped thing in them where you force like wires in and they clamp it and it bites into the wire.
Oh,
The
yeah,
most
fuck
horrible,
those. Don't do
the most
those.
horrible wiring invention ever made.
For sure. They're dicey.
Next to people that poke the shielding on the wire to test if it's got voltage or not.
Hey,
Yeah,
motherfucker.
Yeah, that's bad. That's
It's
awful.
not bad.
You're breaking the insulation.
Yeah,
I-
you put a
I-
little piece of tape over
I have a
it.
deep dark secret to share.
Oh.
Oh.
There is one on my truck. I dare you to find it. I know where it is.
Is it like the
And I'm
power
ashamed it's
running to
there.
the starter?
Yeah, it's something really important.
But there is one.
It's a real melted, but
It's just switch 12 volts to the fuel pump.
I would guess that it's like an electronic antenna or something like that. Something minute.
That's as far as I've cared to share on my own.
Okay.
I'm ashamed enough that I even
I
admitted
have
this.
one. It's on a tail light.
I'm gonna say it's for his so when you turn on your headlights, your gauges light up as well. That's how you tighten into the system.
Ooh.
No?
Hey, that's
That's an educated guess.
close. That's a really close. Not close
I've
as in
seen
like
people do that, but
like I know what you're talking about. Like it's close and like Exactly. That I could see that being sort of a like, this is like a lower voltage thing.
Yeah, I don't feel like cutting this harness
Yeah.
and doing it the right way. So I'm just gonna
I
go.
like the Finnegan quote: "You're allowed to break the rules if you understand the rules."
That's not
Nice.
okay. I get that. You don't have any
Wise words.
you don't have any like wire nuts under your dash though, do you?
Absolutely not.
Okay,
dude.
Okay, thank you.
I'm-
Okay,
I'm-
we're good then.
Well, that motorcycle behind you guys, what they did, the previous owner of that, probably the one who put it in the ditch, they cut out the fuse block and they wire nutted everything.
Ugh.
So it was hardwired, not a single fuse on this thing.
Do they use Romex too?
No, I don't think they had household wiring, but I mean, I wouldn't.
So
This guy wouldn't have put it past him.
would you rather see wire nuts or just wires twisted together wrapped in electrical tape?
Wires twisted together, wrapped in electrical tape.
I think so too. I think the
Yeah.
wire nut. Yeah,
Wire nuts are dicey, especially on a motorcycle. It's gonna see moisture and shit.
Yeah.
and a lot.
It
more
was so bad.
vibration.
So these have a regulator rectifier for their stator, and it's this funny little sandwich block that's like it's got some spacers in the center of it, and it's got like these kind of plates that are in the middle of it. It's a heat dissipating thing and whatever. The wires, there's like 5 different or 4 different like yellow wires that run up to it. They were so melted that a couple of them had no shielding on them anymore. That poor bike was ready to just light on fire.
How lucky do you feel today?
Yeah, pretty
You
much,
saved it.
man. So needless to say, I rewired every single circuit on that fucking thing.
all 3 of them.
Yeah, it got simplified too, but it's crazy. It's crazy when people pull that shit.
I mean, that's the one thing I really hate about my BMW is the wiring. Because it's
Yeah.
an 80s car, so God knows how many like shitty alarms have been wired into it and aftermarket radios and crap like that. And you look under the dash and it's just wires. There's no order to any of it.
Oh,
it's just
dude.
there.
My E21 was a nightmare about that
God,
too.
it's so
but it
bad.
had ceramic fuses. That's scary.
Yeah, that's really terrifying. Yeah, I'd love to rewire that car someday, but it's such a nightmare.
Someday.
It's scary as fuck.
What's the dime like?
Most all the circuits been replaced. There's a couple like brake lights and tail lights that are left, but I'd love to just get rid of what's left of the factory fuse block. That's one possible thing I might get done this winter. Whatever circuits are left, completely redo.
Gotcha, like a painless or a speedway.
Yeah, I might go with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speedway would make some really nice pre-built fuse blocks.
I love mine. And actually, do you have the? It's a single string of wires. It's probably like 10 or 12 wires in a line, and they're from your steering column.
Yep. Standard GM column plug.
Yeah.
Yep.
The Speedway wiring harness has a direct plug for that.
Well, I might be going to a race column, so
A race column.
lightweight chromoly column.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Because
Holy shit.
the factory column's so heavy.
Is it really?
No.
It's not that bad, but you're just like, I need to cut like 3 pounds.
Yes.
So how many, are you going to do like a supermodel diet for like a week leading up to? So you're just going to like,
I could just eat like
supermodel.
one less cheeseburger.
it's just like lemon water the whole week.
Wait, like the 2-finger diet or
Hey, that's a mixture of it, dude. Or you're just,
graham crackers? That's all you get.
that's all you get. You probably gain weight.
But I am really excited to actually get that truck on some scales.
Yeah, I bet.
That's another goal this winter is actually get 4 corner scales and get it scaled out properly.
I know Ryan Merritt has the set
Yeah, I gotta
access to him.
I gotta talk to him because I think he's probably gonna be tuning it when.
Oh, nice, yeah.
Hopefully.
He's the right person.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's fucking sweet, man.
but I haven't really
I'm
talked
excited
to him
for
in
it.
like a year or so.
Yeah. Well, he's been busy.
Yeah, he's been racing and building Gibby's car.
Yeah, basically. Well, and what is his company? Merritt Motorsports and Tuning?
I believe that's what.
Is that what it's
Yeah,
called?
sounds
Yeah.
right.
So if you're listening, check them out too. They're local. I think him and Corey are doing it. I guess like primarily him, but I think Corey does like some of the TIG welding and stuff. It's kind of
They build everything.
welding
I'll
savant.
probably be reaching out to him when we get to the bus.
As far as like cage
Yeah,
stuff,
like make this safe.
Actually, I'm glad that you brought that up because the bus is going to be the next focus for us.
That and the RX-7, the two big ones.
Yeah, and the bus. I love the idea that you have about the cage thing. So if you've ever sat in a VW bus,
I have not.
your knees are the crumple
Yeah,
zone.
you're the firewall.
It
goes the front of the bus, then everything else.
Yeah.
Like there's not even
It's
a fuse
dicey.
block
Sounds
under
like
the
a good way
nest,
to be a
really.
paraplegic.
No. You don't walk away from an accident. You just die.
Yeah. You hope you die.
Yeah. Yeah, it's sketchy as hell.
So you've got a really cool idea about hoping somebody can build a cage around the
Yes.
front end of it. At
Exactly.
least.
I mean, ideally.
And here's another important fact that we should probably tell the people. That's a full frame vehicle.
Yes, it's full frame. It's a bay window, not a split window. That kind of matters too a little bit. But the bus, you sit over the front axle, so your feet are actually in front of the front wheels. So when you're steering, the pivot point is completely different, all that kind of stuff. So it's just firewall and then you. And my goal is to make it at least safe enough to survive like a 30-mile-an-hour crash.
Yeah, right.
Because like if we get a fender bender, you're not walking away from that. They're that sketchy.
That's a good goal.
Yeah, it's
So,
pretty bad.
I like to get the front caged. If I could get any side reinforcement, would be awesome as well. Because our kids will be in the back of this. The sliding door is going to add issue, and I don't know if I'll talk to Merritt when the time comes, but we can just reinforce the chassis and the frame and stuff like that. Maybe that's all it needs, and that will probably go a long way too.
Yeah, where the door slides, it's like a 4-foot door, right, or something like that.
Typical van
So
style
it's
door.
like you could probably just hope that like that section of it isn't reinforced, and you could probably just have the cage end at that.
Yeah, that's
Or something. Or have the
Or-
floor reinforced.
Or you could probably hang some really epic curtains off of the cage.
Some really thick
it came with curtains.
blackout curtains.
will
Like
say-
some corduroy.
So when,
That's so 70s, and it's
Yeah.
a 74.
yeah, it's a 76. no, it is a 74. You're right, it is a 74.
You need corduroy, man.
It had
you need to
curtains.
buy corduroy for the first time you drive that
It's
thing.
a done deal.
No.
Yeah, Steve's claimed it. It's happening, man.
Like
you don't have a choice in the matter.
split pea green corduroy.
Oh,
No.
Jesus. Pea green.
No, we have a little bit of a plan for the interior of it.
What if I volunteered my wife to sell you curtains out of corduroy?
No.
Does she have a lot of corduroy?
She has some.
Oh God. We're not doing corduroy. I'm sorry. I like your wife, but we're not doing corduroy.
That's amazing. What is she making for you guys out of corduroy?
I don't know. She just buys.
She
fabric.
just fucking has corduroy? And she hasn't done anything with it?
She has all sorts of fabric.
She's like stitching seat covers for the dime.
No.
Corduroy inserts, perforated leather everywhere else.
I actually have plans on a seat upgrade for the dime. I don't want to say too much.
And it's not corduroy?
No.
Okay. That's cool. That's good. More weight savings, right?
Yes.
That corduroy gets kind of heavy.
For sure.
No,
It is pretty thick material
Yeah,
compared
fuck
to just
corduroy.
suede.
no, no.
So when is that going to happen? Is that a winter thing?
Yeah.
Nice.
We'll
Okay.
see. We'll see if I get to it.
I'm just going to throw out one guess. TMI front seats.
TMI. Too much information?
why I
I think
went
that's
with
the
that.
brand name though. It's like TMI. They
He's-
make
been drinking, he knows what I'm
aftermarket
talking
seats.
about.
They do a lot of stuff like OBSs and square bodies and
No.
C10s. And
Be a
all that
factory
stuff.
GM seat.
Oh.
So
From-
Corvette seats,
Close.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool, man.
Caprice.
Yeah. Nice, dude.
You're just gonna go with the bench seat.
He's just gonna get Silverado seats with the seatbelts. We can double the seatbelts.
Oh, the Chevy Astro captain chairs in the middle.
Oh,
The
there you
swivels.
go. There you go.
You can do the
And what he'll
swivels.
do is he's gonna like do the like mood lighting.
Yeah.
around
I'm pretty sure if I did 2 Silverado seats, I'd have to delete my center console
because
because it'd just be
probably.
touching like a bench seat.
the Silverado seats are made for some big butts.
Yes.
That's awesome, though, man. I don't know that truck. I got a feeling like because you're gonna keep that till you drop dead. I mean,
Probably
let's be
because
honest.
I'm too cheap to justify selling it for a loss.
Right. So when we started coming up, and at this point, like I'm middle aged. You're
Yeah.
pretty close behind me, and you're
I'm not.
quite a few years
Yeah.
behind. But your crisis is coming, buddy. Don't worry. There's the older guys I looked up to, and a lot of them are like, "Oh, I've had this car for 25 years." And when you look at it, you're just like, "Jesus Christ, you have touched, massaged every panel on this thing, replaced everything you've done. This thing's fucking like Ripley with his fucking Nova. It's just like this fucking dude has done everything to this thing." I got a feeling the dime is going to be like that, where it's like the younger guys are going to look at it and just be like, "You're old as fuck, but that fucking truck, Jesus Christ."
Yeah, probably.
Everything's fucking done to it.
Probably.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, it isn't. Well, you fucking
It's
what?
probably gonna be my BMW. I don't have any intention.
Are you gonna
of
hang
selling
on to it? You should hang on to it.
Yeah,
With
oh, yeah.
how much you fucking done to that thing.
Oh yeah, I plan on keeping that for fucking ever. And that I know for sure Harper would kill me if I sold that car.
Yeah.
She's actually really pissed off that Roman got to ride in it a little bit, and she has not rode in that car yet this year. She loves that dumb car.
You know what though? That's a good thing. It's sort of like the distance makes the heart grow fonder kind of effect, where it's like, she's just like, God damn it, I want to ride in this fucking car. Like, I just love it. And when she gets to, and it's going to be like, the car will be ready to kick her back in the seat.
Yeah,
she's
she's
just
gonna
like,
giggle.
Cars are the best thing in the fucking world, you know?
And she gets to ride in the front in that car
Yeah.
because she has a booster seat. So once I get all that little shit figured out on it, she's just gonna laugh her ass off and be like, "Let's do it again."
Yeah.
Yeah, excuse
Yeah,
me,
she-
I gotta pee.
Okay, yeah.
She's my Daredevil kid, so
Yeah, I know. It's fucking crazy. Like, the way that your kids are wired is so surprising.
they're complete opposites.
Where it's like you would, and I don't mean to stereotype, and I think this is maybe one of the best parts about your kids is like how unique they are in that, like, your daughter doesn't, like, she's feminine,
sort
but
of.
she's like feminine, but like fucking loves like cars and motorcycles
Yeah,
and stuff.
she likes to wrench. She likes to be out in the garage. She loves just plain rough.
Yeah,
Like,
that-
she climbs fucking everything.
She's a little ass kicker.
yeah,
And it's so perfect.
but
because,
then at the same time, she's like, "I love unicorns."
yeah.
Okay,
I know, it's like, what
wearing
a-
dresses.
A neat balance of a kid. And when you just let them be whoever they want to be, it's exciting to see, like, when that kind of thing comes out, where you're just like, Jesus Christ, like, this kid is obsessed with my race car. And then she's also just, like, loves to wear her tutu and fucking sing songs.
So speaking of all of that, I need your honest opinion on something.
Yeah.
Should I take her to go see Stag X?
Okay, well, that's...
She'll be 6 by the time that show happens.
That is a really good question.
Now-
like, when to expose kids to rowdier music?
Okay,
Or
first,
just the music in general.
first off, Roman and her both love rowdy music.
For sure. They listen to it at home, but concert's a different can of worms.
Completely different animal. But Stack X is like her second favorite band. So I kind of want to go for it. It is an all ages show, and it's only $30. But Mushroom Head's gonna be there, Dope is gonna be there, and Fear Factory, and
Wait, Fear Factory's going to be
Fear
there?
Factory's gonna be there.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I might want to go to that.
Fear Factory has a new lead singer though too. So
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah. But I kind of want to take her just to see what happens. But at the same time, it's
Yeah.
like you're 6, and that's some heavy shit.
It is. It is. So Donnie's asking the question of, like, what's the right age to take your kid to a metal concert?
I'm just trying to process myself, and I don't have the right. I don't have
No.
an answer myself.
Yeah, it's like I don't. If it was like originally we were supposed to take her to Coheed and Cambria, but then COVID happened, and Coheed's they're hard rock, but they're not heavy.
They're
Like
not
something like
Static X heavy.
Exactly.
So
like she likes listening to it at home, but it's like, can you be in an auditorium where like it's 4 hours of music?
Yeah, you feel
Yeah,
like someone's kicking in the chest every time they double bass.
Exactly. like shit's getting real.
You're
Yeah.
not gonna put her down in the pit.
Maybe it depends if she listens.
How raged out she is, I don't know.
Well, see, and that's the other thing too. It's like we're gonna be standing. and
She's
it's
just
gonna be
throwing
warm,
down,
and-
knocking over full size dudes.
Well,
Oh,
and,
she'd throw elbows.
and you have to wonder, like, what's her stamina like? Could she stand at a concert for 2 hours or 3 hours?
Yeah.
And
That's the tricky part.
Is she gonna peter out staying up that late?
Oh, that's not.
I don't know how
God,
late
yeah,
your
that's
kids
such a
stay
good
up.
point.
No, our bedtime's 8 o'clock at our house. She's usually there's been a couple of nights though where she's a big Spider-Man fan. Like
Okay.
huge, like her favorite TV show to watch in the morning before we get up is the '80s cartoon Spider-Man. And shit, she loves
Seriously?
Spider-Man. Dead fucking
The
serious.
80s? Kapow,
one.
bang.
Yes, she loves that one. So they're coming out with a new Spider-Man
What
movie.
a cool kid.
Yeah, they're coming out with a new Spider-Man movie that they are actually bringing back the Green Goblin and Doc Ock from the Tobey Maguire movies. That's like a little bit of time
Good.
travel that's in there. And so I'm kind of like, holy shit, like that's what I grew up on. Like we're totally gonna go see this in theaters. So we've been watching all the I told her like we'll watch all the Spider-Man movies leading up to this. That way you're all caught up and you know what's going on. So she's had a couple of nights where she's gotten to stay up late till 9:30, 10 o'clock to get these movies out of the way. And she's actually pretty well behaved normally, so long as her brother's not up as well. If they're both up, it's fucking Armageddon, and like, yeah, they're fucking bickering about who's sitting next to dad, and oh, you got more popcorn than I do, and you're looking at me wrong, and it's a fucking nightmare. But if it's just her, she's not too bad if she's up late past her bedtime.
Okay. All right.
So
Maybe.
I don't know. Like,
So
there's
how
no way
old
to
will she
test
be at the
this.
time?
She'll be 6.
She'll be 6 when this concert happens.
She does have a Wisconsin Death Trip T-shirt, by the way.
Yeah.
That's pretty epic.
Yeah.
So
I don't know,
it's like,
man. I
I
don't know.
kind of want to take her just for the, and I figured like maybe we just missed like the couple. You know, we show up an hour and a half late, so
And
we,
I think that
we
might
missed
be
a
the
little
key.
bit. We
Skip
missed,
some opening acts.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
Because it's going to be overstimulating.
it's
That's
gonna be
a lot.
There's gonna be a lot. There's the light. It's gonna be loud. It's gonna smell.
One thing to
there's gonna be
keep in
ganja,
mind-
There's gonna be sweaty people.
And I've wondered about this with kids is like there's it's just like pain where there's sort of a no going back. Once you've pushed the threshold further, there's kind of no going back. So it's like when you're a baby and you scratch your finger, it's the worst pain you've ever experienced. When you're a toddler and you scun your knee, it's the worst pain you've ever experienced. When you're a teenager and you break a bone, worst pain. So on and so forth, right?
So far. And I feel like stimulation is the same way. And it's, you know, so if you bring your daughter at 6 years old to a metal show, it makes you wonder what her, you know, kind of stimulation seeking will be like as she gets
Yeah.
older. So like, where do you go from a metal concert at 6 years old for excitement?
I don't know. Like this is a kid that already climbed fucking that rock wall.
She
at
went
the
rock
Renaissance.
climbing,
Yeah,
yeah.
she likes to rock climb.
I think that's
So
totally
it's-
normal and safe. Like I think that's
yeah,
fine.
but it's still there's still a rush there. Like holy shit, like I'm 30, 40 feet up off the ground climbing this wall. Like there's some adrenaline pumping there
For sure.
and there's gonna be adrenaline at the concert too. So it's
There's gonna be a lot of adrenaline. There's gonna be
know.
the social adrenaline that's going on there.
yeah.
Because you get swept up in that, you know. There's a bunch of other people rocking out at a concert.
It's true.
You know, fucking prof concerts where you're just like everybody's just fucking wild and
Getting crushed
party
in the
hardy.
First row.
Yeah,
Straight
exactly.
up crushed.
You just fucking cut loose. It's interesting what would happen with a young kid.
I have no clue. I think
Maybe
that
I don't know. Maybe go for it.
There's
Like,
only one way to find out. Is the way I look at
as
it.
long as you go into it knowing that you might have to leave super early, you might get an
and
hour
that's
out
the
of it. You
funny
might
thing.
get
It's
45
pretty much the
minutes.
same exact lineup when we went and saw them.
And that was a damn good.
It was
lineup.
fantastic. Just
Mushroom Head might be a little creepy to her.
yeah, that's what I'm like. Maybe we can show
Might
up a
want to
little late.
skip them. Just go straight. Although Dope is really fun, and
Dope's a
Dope is
blast.
probably the opening act.
I don't know.
No, Mushroom Head has to be the opening
I'd say Mushroom Head probably, then Dope.
because
and then
Dope is a
Fear
pretty
Factory,
big band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's $60. I've already seen the 3 bands I want to go see. I've already seen. So if she doesn't do super well, or she gets whiny or something like that, it's not. I'm not really out a whole lot.
Right.
You're not out the experience of seeing
Yeah,
said band.
I guess my biggest fear is she getting trampled on.
Well, it just depends where you
Yeah.
get seating.
Yeah, and I can't remember where the venue. I think it's the Fillmore. If I remember right.
Get balcony.
Yeah.
Yeah, just grab the best possible seated balcony spots that you can get, and I mean maybe it'll be up on the ledge, and then just
Just hang out.
yeah, and then she
Yeah.
just gets to stand and fucking watch. I mean, she might be on your shoulders quite a bit,
That's
kind
fine.
of depending, but she's a light kid, and
So far.
yeah, I don't know, I
kinda-
kind of feel like you should go for it.
Okay, does anybody want to go with us then? Because I have to have a second adult.
When
if we're
is
doing
it?
this. March 27th. It's a Sunday.
March 27th.
Yes.
We have an AFI concert right around
Do
then.
you?
Let me just double check and see when it is, but I might
need
be
to have a
inclined.
second adult. I want a second adult just because if I have to pee, I don't want to have to drag her away
Oh,
or vice
yeah,
versa
yeah.
or whatever,
Well, and concerts are always if you got to bring her into the men's room, there is just a
Yeah.
line of cocks.
yeah, she doesn't need to see that
They're
shit.
just
That's I wouldn't want to do that.
No, I'm a grown ass man and I don't want to see that.
So you just got a bunch of sons, so you don't have to
Yes,
think about
or
that.
I can't even comprehend having a
There
daughter
was-
at this point.
There was a Louis special where he stand-up special, and he was talking about that, where he's brought his daughters into, I don't know, fucking Six Flags kind of bathroom or whatever, and there's just cocks everywhere, and he's bringing
Jesus
this little
Christ.
girl, this 6-year-old, 7-year-old, 8-year-old daughter, and there's just fucking gross dudes everywhere, and she brings her into the bathroom stall, and there's just a guy over there grunting and shitting, and just dudes are
Man.
fucking gross.
Oh yeah, these are nastier than hell.
And to think that I might have to bring my daughter into the men's room at some point.
Yeah, I might see if my
Fucking
wife wants to go to
gross.
this.
Yeah, yeah, maybe. I mean, we could figure it out. If I happen to go with, I'm happy to watch her while you gotta go take a leak, squeeze
Sounds
one
good.
out. What happens if she's gotta pee though?
I don't know. I have to pee though. You should move.
Oh yeah, that's
I
the
can
one thing.
accommodate.
We don't have a good exit plan.
No,
for,
we don't. I'm
for
just I
middle
can't-
person
I
bathroom.
can't hit the
moves.
can. No.
Yeah, there we go. We got to figure it out. I have to think about some kind of a arrangement so middle person can get out easier.
You could just set up a middle urinal. Mm-hmm. Set up a jar underneath there for Donnie. You just kind of
Well,
incognito.
yeah, I
and
suppose
no one,
when you're in the middle, you can just kind of.
I mean, the camera can't see underneath the table. And it's
No,
kinda,
where he's at, he'd be fine.
just gonna hear a trinkling sound in the middle of the podcast. I'm like,
That reminds me.
everyone's just gonna ignore what's going on over here.
I don't know how much you watch or listen to podcasts, but that's a thing. So on the Joe Rogan podcast, if Ari Shaffir is on there, he'll just whip it out and take a leak in the middle of the
Really?
Yeah, he'll just grab a cup or something like that, piss into it.
That's awesome.
I kind of get it. I mean, if you don't want to get up from the conversation.
Yeah. I get it. I get it.
God damn, man. So you've got to be missing. Yeah. So So the viewers, you might have heard us allude to at the very beginning, DJ Spruce, you've got to be missing that at this point. I'm missing it from the dance aspect and stuff like that. But you used to actually spin for us.
I miss that stage of life.
That stage, yeah.
I feel like that's a good way to put it. I don't know if I'd want to go that hard again at this point in my life.
Right.
Because I don't recover as well as I used to.
No, dude, I get it. I'm looking at a fourth beer here, and I'm thinking the last time that I had a fourth beer was a while ago, and I'm probably gonna be a little sloppy tomorrow.
It's Friday.
Donnie, can you get around the backside?
I'm gonna have to step up and over the camera cord. And all
The cord is much lower than. Okay, never mind. We're good.
We got this.
All right, we got this. So we're talking 2-4 days, and
God.
ask Steve how he's how much does he miss doing the DJ thing for us. So for the viewers, we back in the day, a good friend of ours, Charlie.
Yes.
And if you've listened to all of the podcasts, you would have heard at this point about the 2-2-4. 224 was a house on Central Hillside in Duluth.
I think I'm
and we had a big ass basement, and there
First
was
place I shot a gun.
yes,
I mean, there's no better neighborhood than Central neighborhood. For your first experience shooting a gun.
middle of the city. He allegedly shot a gun in the middle of the city, the sketchiest place in the city.
Yes.
But it was sort of a legendary place. It was a house. It was a
hangout.
Yeah, it was a 2-story house.
It was many
with
things.
a really nice basement that actually had a walkout into the backyard.
Very nice.
So if you guys have ever seen the
Quotations.
if you guys have ever seen the Sandlot, the tree house that all the boys hung out at and had their sleepovers and stuff like that, that was the 224 for us.
Yeah, that's actually a good way to put it.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah, it was the clubhouse for everybody.
It was
With lots of speakers.
And
Yeah,
lots of
so-
alcohol.
what ended up happening is a guy named Charlie Dosh, and if you listen to some of our earlier
Shout out
podcasts,
DJ Wubbles.
we had Charlie on a couple of times, and we alluded to the 224. So it was this house in Central Hillside, and it was really well set up for everything we needed it to be. It had a basement that had decent height ceilings. It had a decent amount of room in the basement, enough that you could like throw parties and have dances and stuff like that. And so Charlie always had this vision that he wanted to build a club in his house. And he ended up going all out. He put acoustic foam on the walls. He put a stripper pole in there, which
right.
came a little bit later on. That
Yep.
wasn't immediately, but
There's
he
a
put a stripper
DJ
pole in
booth.
there. The biggest thing was
Spruce
the spruce booth.
Spruce booth.
So an elevated booth that had a what was the scratch pads? It had the mixer, but the scratch pads were built into the mixer, weren't they?
No, they were separate.
They were separate. Had
Separate
a
boards.
little laptop, and all
Two.
of that was 2 laptops, and all of that was wired back to a 6,000 watts of amplifiers, and then 18-inch subs, couple of box setups. What was it, like 12 inches?
Couple
mids, tweets.
Couple 18s. We had 5 18s.
5 18s.
Jesus.
It would shake the fucking neighborhood, basically.
Oh yeah.
We'd shake the neighbors' foundation.
It rivaled legitimate clubs. It beat the red.
It was better than most clubs in the area.
What was the one at the time? The red herring,
Red
right?
Star.
Red Star.
Red
Red
Star.
Star.
So was that the same equipment you guys brought to our wedding to DJ?
We brought a portion of it to your wedding.
Okay.
We bought
Yeah.
like a quarter of it
Steve
to
was
your
the,
wedding.
was the DJ at my wedding.
A portion, and it shook the
Co-DJ.
depot.
Oh yeah, it was great. It was fantastic.
Yeah, we brought 2 18s to
Yes,
the depot,
that's
and
right.
it still shook the
Yeah.
depot.
So it
good
was
time.
it was a really special setup, and it was at a point in our lives where we had we were all childless. We had significant others. Everybody was young and had
Acted like childs.
act like children. Yeah. Like we had that teenage energy, silliness, drinking beers. We were just like we always have been like a big family, and it was just like this fucking free for all. And we'd have parties, and we'd do it like middle of the week. It'd be like a fucking Thursday, and we'd just throw a party.
It didn't matter.
It didn't matter. And it was fucking amazing. It's an amazing point in all of our lives. And we have so many stories we can go on tangents about
God,
whatever.
yeah.
But
We have-
as the overview,
Gotta save some good ones for Charlie.
yeah, I didn't even.
Charlie's on.
I know
I
we need
never
to get
lived
Charlie up
there,
here.
and I still have good stories from that place.
And that's the beauty of it. Most people didn't live there
Yeah.
and had amazing stories from it, whether you're sleeping on the
first
porch.
place
or...
I saw my wife
Washers.
trashed.
Yeah. So I don't know how we began this conversation talking about the 224, but they're talking about the DJing thing, and whether you miss it. And yeah, like, so it was a really special point in our lives, and I think we all I certainly miss it. But you must miss the DJing side of it too, because you actually got the performative aspects
absolutely. It was something I never expected to fall into, but I did, and it was an awesome experience, and I don't regret it for a second. Mm-hmm. It was awesome. It was a great time.
of it. Yeah, man.
And Charlie still occasionally DJs weddings, so like
Really?
we'll go back and forth, and like we'll like exchange like song setups and like
Oh, no
playlists
shit.
and yeah, and like
Wow.
Fantastic.
he just picked up a new scratch pad board, and like so I'm starting like looking like, well, maybe I should buy another one. Like just set it up in
Damn,
the garage
dude.
because if you've never been in my garage, I got a pretty legit speaker set up from leftover 224 speakers.
Yeah, it's fucking legit.
So I'm like, well, I could just have a workbench set up with pad, and like I could just play when I want to. I'm like, I think I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, you should, dude. Well, it's one of those things where it's like if you have a, you find that you have an aptitude for something, you might as well keep it around. Like, I can play guitar okay. I can rock climb really well, or I used to rock climb really well. It's these things where it's like whether they sort of fade out a little bit, if you still like them, you should maintain that. You know, whether you know, if you can manage. So for sure, like pick it up, fucking
Totally
just
DJ
like
Mark.
it's a Tuesday night. I'm gonna go out there, fucking lower the lights a little bit, like fucking mix some things up,
Maybe
piece
some,
some things together.
A couple shots of tequila rose and just fucking let loose.
Tequila rose.
But honestly, like the garage actually almost I call it bass therapy. Like I could be having a crappy day, or just like being just run down from kids from the week or whatever. I can go out there, fire up a playlist, and just crank that sub.
Huh.
And well, not so much the sub itself, but it helps.
Yeah, right.
But like it like recharges the batteries.
Bass therapy.
That's what I
I
call it.
love that. That's such a good term for that.
So what's
Because if you've never experienced good proper bass, like
If you've never experienced 18s.
like and especially like the quality of these, like it like hitting notes that you never knew existed in songs.
Oh, the
like,
hertz levels.
yeah, like if you've never experienced that, there's like some songs that you get ruined on because you hear them like played on your phone. I'm like, oh, this is garbage.
Right.
I'm like, it's just not right.
It's like when you hear Run the Jewels on your phone versus on your stereo.
Yeah. There's a few prof songs like that too. I'm like, where'd that bass line go? It like there's like a whole line that's completely missing here.
Oh, God, that's such a good point.
I'm like, because you're like you there's some frequencies your phone just can't hit. I'm like, this
Yeah.
song is garbage. Even in reality, it isn't. But
And that's so cool. So you'll just go to the garage sometimes. You'll just like fucking crank something up, listen to Elephant by Prof or whatever.
yeah, just whatever.
Hang out for 15 minutes.
Yes.
Okay, I'm charged. Time to go
Yep.
in and change some diapers.
Yeah. Well, I don't ever go out there until after bedtime, but
Oh, sure.
typically.
Yeah.
But yeah,
unless they're really pissing you off.
no,
No,
I don't get.
I've done that a couple of times where I was like, I'm not dealing with any of you.
Got a dip. Yeah.
I feel
Dad's
guilty
going out
enough
to the garage
'cause
for an hour.
typically my wife's home all day with him, and I'm at work, so I figure she deserves. By the time I get home, she deserves as much. How do I say
Assistance.
Yes, assistance as I can provide.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that.
Especially being 3 of them now.
Well-
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, no shit. Well, so I love the idea of what is it called? Grid life, where it's a mixture of music. It's like a music concert, music festival meets like racing and shit like that.
They made a video game about this.
Yeah,
So it's like Forza.
yeah. It's super cool. Well, like Ludacris would go and headline. it.
Totally go to that. That sounds fantastic.
Yeah. We need that in the Twin Ports. Like, we need DJ Spruce to spin at the Black River Motorsports Park.
So that sounds like a dad mods event.
I'm down.
Yeah,
Cool.
you'd be down.
We got half
so
the battle
I've,
figured out.
I'd have to piece together a little better mobile setup, but
I suppose
I
because
still have
outdoors is a
probably-
different can of worms.
I still have probably half the components. At least
Damn.
the way I'd want to do it, I'd have to piece together a few more components because everything in my garage is kind of permanently installed in case the hood rats ever got in
Oh
there.
yeah, I suppose.
Hood rats stay out.
Well, God, we've had hood rats steal shit out of your old garage.
Yeah, fucking
Missing an Xbox and a bunch of games.
original Xbox games.
Fucking
What,
assholes.
what was that rally game called? That was the biggest loss of them all.
Colin McRae.
Yeah, what
There's
was
a-
that?
there's a
I
Colin
don't even
McRae rally.
remember.
I don't remember the name of the title, but it wasn't.
It was
a,
sad.
It was a proper rally racing game.
Yeah,
That-
from
that-
Xbox One. I don't remember.
That was
what it
logged many hours in that garage.
Yeah, it was a shame.
That was a shame.
Yeah.
Back when you actually needed physical discs to play a game.
Damn
Yeah.
kids.
Well, we've got a few more events in mind, and I want to pick your brain about adding a musical aspect to it. Maybe even machines and caffeine.
I'm excited to
That'd
have
be
my brain
fun.
picked.
That'd be very fun.
Yeah, it would be a cool thing to add into it. But I think this is probably a good time to wrap the night.
I think so. Been
So-
drinking.
Okay.
Everyone's tired.
Had a few beers.
Yeah, you gotta call your AAR rep in the morning. So.
AARP.
Yeah, ARP.
AA. What'd you say?
AAR. That's their.
AAR?
That's the
So
airplane
like
repair.
American Airlines?
Yeah, that was the repair facility up on top of the hill that closed. It was AAR.
What are you saying?
AAR was the fucking airplane mechanics up on top of the hill.
So I need to call them?
No,
Why?
you can call AARP.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, on that bombshell,
Motherfuckers.
thank you very much for joining us for another Brews of the Dudes episode. We will see you guys next week. Thank you for joining us.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.